So this on a Monday morning just seems to be a theme in which our guests want you to feel better. Our last friend, Dr. Glick, said you can if you have a better relationship with your doctor. And our guest now, Sue Field, says if you have a better relationship with the hills and pathways and hiking trails around you, you'll feel better then, right?
That's right, and lakes, and might as well keep going on all the things you can do that's fun and outdoors.
And Sue Field knows what she's talking about. She's owner of Multisport Journeys, based in Colorado. But boy, I'll tell you, between Colorado and Arizona, be an interesting argument as to which is the better place for outdoor activities.
It's quite synergistic, actually. We come down here all the time in April to when it's still snowy and come down to enjoy the summer, and Colorado is great in the summertime.
I think almost everybody would accept the fact that logically more activity is better than less activity physically, but what does it do it for us mentally?
I think it makes us sharper, and I think in kids, when you start with exercise and hiking and things like that, there's a sense of mastery. You get a sense of accomplishment that goes to the future, and I think with family time together, it's also helpful.
All right, but activity, you concentrate on outdoor activity and appreciating nature and enjoying all that we have naturally around us. Isn't it just another word for exercise, though?
Well, it's exercise with adventure, and it's exercise in a way that's fun. And I think if people grow up seeing exercise as fun, then later in life they're not going to view it as a chore. And if exercise is viewed as a chore, it's the last thing you're going to really want to do. So if you can ingrain that into kids at an early age, I think that's a positive.
How early? How early would you suggest that mom and dad or grandma and grandpa begin to encourage the kids to start these journeys, these adventures?
Well, frankly, we were in Sedona in October with my husband, who's 67 and has 2 grandkids, and he was carrying the baby in the baby backpack. And the baby was loving it, had his baby shades on and drinking from the Camelback. And it's these small little remembrances. In fact, we're talking about doing an Adventures with Grandpa series for him.
Oh.
So he can show his grandson and granddaughter exactly how a 67-year-old can still be active and make it fun.
How can that 67-year-old or that 47-year-old or that 27-year-old find the activities to do?
Well, one of the things we're trying to do is develop a single source of multiple activities geared for people of all ages. And we rate our activities as warrior, explorer, and cruiser because we don't think people are monolithic.
What do those terms mean?
Well, they're sort of meant to be fun for hard, medium, and easy. And cruiser is obviously more on the easy side. But we don't like to assume that just because someone is a boomer and beyond, we don't like to use the S word, the senior word. That doesn't mean that they can only walk in a botanical garden. And so we like to have a range of activities and let people decide for themselves.
Give me an idea. Give me a couple of examples of what kind of journeys that you recommend.
Well, here in the Arizona area, for instance, up in Prescott, there's a great bike path and a whole network of it, 50 miles or so. And they have a great rail trail called the Peavine Trail. And you can ride 20 miles on graded rail trails and get a really good workout. Or another example might be in Flagstaff, where you could walk the Sunset Crater and learn a little bit more about the history of the volcanoes and how they created Arizona.
What a remarkable experience Sunset Crater is.
Oh, it's fabulous. And you get at certain times of year, you can see the snow-capped mountains in the background against the lava. And you can actually sneak a little history in there as you're talking to your kids or your grandkids.
But all right, but you're talking about Prescott and Flagstaff. Do you discount the value of hiking the North Mountain system of hills and mountains that we have right here in the valley?
Not at all.
Squaw Peak, of course, Camelback just down the road.
Absolutely, any way that you can get outside. And in fact, in addition to hiking, Phoenix has a very extensive bike trail map that you can pick up at any of the bike stores. And that's a good way just to figure out where in your neighborhood you could get out on a bicycle with your kids and you know, introduce them to an active lifestyle just outside their door. You
know, your organization, Sue, Multisport Journeys, seems to also be in the fashion business. So talk to me, hats and T-shirts and so on. These are available online? Are they
Yes.
available at your place?
They're available online and hopefully soon in stores. And this is original artwork developed by my brother and myself. My brother's a landscape artist, and I asked him to do some artwork to help celebrate being outdoors. And so it has a certain whimsy, and it's meant to be fun, and it's meant to, you know, it could actually be something that you could get with your grandson after you plan a visit, or granddaughter, to celebrate the outing.
What do you do, though, when you have a child, and certainly this is maybe more prevalent today than at any other time in our memories? What do you do when your kids, your grandkids say, "Oh no, that's boring"?
Well, I think you try to make it an adventure. Maybe don't just ride on the bike path. Maybe head up to Sedona or Jerome, or, you know, get in the car and go see something a little bit different. But rather than just walk around the town, why not combine it with a hike, or rent a bike and go on the Bellway pathway in Sedona? So make it more of an adventure.
Well, do kids think of it initially as an adventure, or is it a matter of just a long walk and I'm going to be uncomfortable until I get home to my video games?
Well, I do think that sometimes there is an initial reluctance, and sometimes I think kids feel like I'm not going to be successful at this, so they don't want to try it. But then when they, with some encouragement, and you get them out there, they kind of like, oh, this is fun. You know, I can actually do this. And, you know, they may not say that outright immediately, but, you know, you can sort of see it in their face. And, you know, another great thing about hiking is you can actually have a conversation with somebody.
Oh, wait a minute. You mean instead of this,
Instead of the texting.
instead of the electronic conversations?
Now,
that
you
we
can
have?
bring a GPS if you want to bring a little technology into the hike and sort of talk that language.
Oh,
So-
what a remarkable gift we have, though, here in Arizona and you in Colorado. So many opportunities to really appreciate the adventure, the journey that you're so proud of. And of course, you can find out more at Multisport Journey. Her name is Sue Field. I'm Pat McMahon.